Talk about, if you could, why you believe, what distinguishes you as a candidate in particular, and why you were inspired you to run again for this position.
Well, I served 2 terms, and I enjoy public service. It's my way of giving back. I live in the county. My kids live here. My grandkids live here. This county was good to me. I was in business for a number of years. I want to make sure that young people can afford to live in this county. They have good jobs, and that we can keep. I can keep my kids, and everybody else can keep their kids close to home.
Talk about what do you feel are the most important issues as it relates to something that commissioners have power over?
Right now, I think one of the major issues of concern to me is mental health care. There have been some issues in the area, and I think we need to think about putting more resources in mental health. About half of the inmates in our jail suffer from mental health issues. They're probably there because they're abusing alcohol or drugs, and we need to find a way to treat their mental health so they can stay out of jail. That's the primary issue. I think my second issue, I'm concerned about the level of spending in the county. The current 2020 budget has about a $20 million deficit, $2 million deficit, excuse me, which means the county is spending way too much. And I think we need to go back and make sure we get spending under control. Otherwise, we're going to be facing some tax issues.
Relation to two of the bigger issues that commissioners had discussed or passed, one being the solar array that was passed, and the second being the $5 fee. I'll let you address both of them, sort of your take if you were in agreement or disagreement on both those issues. We'll begin with the solar array.
Well, the solar array is going to cost about $1.6 million. That's a lot of money. Well, first of all, I believe in green energy. I think going green is not a bad thing, but you can buy green energy over the grid. There's no need to set up what they're doing, really setting up a small utility company by putting this solar array. It's going to cost $1.6 million. Look, that facility, even if it costs about $100,000 a year for electricity, even if they save half of it, $50,000 a year, it's going to take 32 years for them to get $1.6 million back. I don't think it's a good investment. But that money could have been used for mental health services at that same jail.
Moving on now to the $5 fee. Talk about, I guess, your take. I've seen some of the advertisements you've run on this and such. What's your, your main point of contention with the fee?
Well, there are 2 points that I think. Number one, I think the fee is inherently unfair. Now, for example, if you have a small trailer that costs $6 to register, you get a $5 fee on top of that. It's almost 100% markup. If you have a big commercial truck that costs $1,000 to register, it's still $5. So there's no proportionality here. That's problem number one. Problem number two, the county doesn't really own any roads or bridges. So it's not used to offset any real estate taxes, and the county has really no need for it. And as far as helping other municipalities, the county has what it's called Act 13 monies to help municipalities with their projects.
So you're of the belief that Act 13 should be one of the main or only funding or funders of, for example, the bridges within the county, and that it shouldn't be on this $5 fee?
They should not be on the $5 fee. The bridges and the roads we have PennDOT to take care of that. We have municipalities. The commissioners don't belong in doing PennDOT's work. They should stick to what the county's for. The county government is primarily for providing human services, and that's the primary function of county government.
You mentioned some of the highlighted mental health services as one of the key impacts. What specific to mental health, if elected, what do you feel you could do?
Well, I think we can do more in our jail, as I alluded to before. I think we make sure that our case workers are paid well, so we reduce turnover and we have more case workers. I think we need to expand services. Particularly, I think that the waiting time for patient service is very, very long. There are not enough beds to take care of people that have crisis that need to be inpatient. So we need to find strategy to provide those services and expand the services we already have to more people and make them aware what services we have available at the county.
As someone who's a former commissioner, I suppose if elected, you addressed this a bit. That what are some of the key changes compared to the current commissioners?
Right.
What are some of the key changes maybe you'd like to implement if elected?
Well, I think first thing I'd like to see we can bring the spending out of control and stop spending on things that are not really priorities for the county. So we need to be mindful of the taxpayers and avoid a tax increase. I think we should repeal or let sunset the $5 registration tax. Again, that's unneeded. And I think we should look for opportunities to invest more resources in human service, primary mental health services.
Why on November 5th should folks circle or fill in the ballot for Chris Exarchos?
Well, they know me. I've been there in public service before. We have a lot of projects accomplished, but more importantly, I think they need to remember I've never raised their real estate taxes in two terms that I've served in the county.